Well, hello, friends, and welcome back after either a week, a holiday, or both. And as we decide once again to drill back into the world known as the Forgotten Realms, or more specifically to the world beneath, as we drill down into Undermountain. More specifically, there is a group that has just descended into the depths of Undermountain. Their outward solution, their outward plan is to track down a group that has gone before them. Track down this group and stop them from providing Hallister Blackcloak, the Mad Mage, with an artifact that he needs. But that's nebulous. Not all of our characters are there for that reason. But it's reason enough to join together and descend into the depths of Undermountain. And as we last left our group, they were on the very first level of this wonderfully insane situation. And as they were negotiating the area, looking into the shadows, talking with a pair of goblins that seemed to deal with skulls, or deal in skulls, and as the fascination of this particularly unique realm in the Forgotten Lands was explored, several things happen, as they are wont to do in a place beneath the soil. And so as the group was fighting bugbears and intellect devourers and trying to make heads or tails of a situation that was growing incredibly more chaotic, incredibly more confusing, as different elements and questions were being asked, not of the world they were in, but of the group they were a part of. And as we ended our last episode, Garnet, who had walked through a secret door and disappeared for the majority of the action, she returned. And as luck would have it, she was fine, seemingly. She was at a wonderful table filled with meats and pastries and wine and decadence. And there were others there, all of them sitting stately and watching their host. And here in this land beneath the soil, in this Undermountain, a realm of sophistication, of effete snobbery, had become reality. And at the head of the table, a beautiful woman with slicked back blonde hair, Cate Blanchett, sat and welcomed the group as they walked into her realm of decadence, inviting them all to take to table to join Garnet, who upon second glance was sitting very still, staring straight ahead. And as the woman, their new host, smiled, she revealed the pointed teeth of her true heritage. And before we start off and jump right back into the action, I will let you know that in this situation, we are lucky to not only have a guest with us, but a guest that is playing someone very familiar with the world beneath the soil. We have Katie playing a drow for us. This drow is still here, but the Aasimar, the heavenly being the large Goliath Kyogen is gone. Where he is yet to be determined. But if you count Garnet, who is seemingly enjoying her time at table, they are 5 still. 5 should be enough to take a vampire. Right? And so as we bring in everybody else, we will not do intros, for we do not have the time. If you look down below, chat, there are ways to interact with this narrative. You may do so. I will simply say that last week, the narrative was interacted with, and this week, we have a boss fight coming. Whether or not that boss fight is with the current host, we'll see. I told the group in the green room it wasn't, but I lied. So, as we are sitting at this table, or at least Garnet is, and as this being is welcoming you all in, I would like to ask the group that's not Garnet, what would you like to do? And as you provide your first action for us, please provide, as we always do, you the player, your preferred pronouns, and a description of your character, as if your character had just kicked in the saloon doors. The record skips, and everybody turns to look. What would we, as beer guzzlers in the Old West, see? And so, I will turn it over to the group and simply say, Party, what do you do?
I think you see this very dark-skinned drow, almost obsidian colored skin with white dreadlocks and sort of like jewels and different little like pieces braided into it. And she goes by she, her pronouns, as do I. And she looks over at Dearney Hall, who was the last one she was with, and points to the vampire and this person sitting there, and is just like, is this where I'm supposed to help? Are we doing something here? Your call.
Dearney Hall is a Shatterkai warlock with very pale white skin, white eyes, and long white hair, and she's wearing long white flowing robes and is perpetually kind of hunched over and snarling a bit. And she looks at the drow, and Dearney Hall is she, her pronouns, as with me. Dearney Hall says, it depends what kind of mood she's in. She says before looking back at the vampire.
At the mention of your host, you see as she leans back in this ornate, almost throne-like chair at the head of a table, and 2 long legs smash heel to heel and crisscross at the ankle. The 3-inch heel on both shoe kind of flicking a bit as it knocks over a goblet of wine. The person to her right, Garnet's to her left, but the person to her right does not seem to care that they have just lost their drink. And as she sits there with her legs crossed, she looks and just waits for you all to sit.
I think we've been invited to dinner. And Ellie's going to sit down.
Dearney is going to sit as across from the vampire she can get, if possible, and sort of like climb up so she's crouched in the chair and sort of leans forward with like one hand on the table. Like this.
Excellent. There is a chair, not as ornate, but still with the arms and kind of the high back that is at the end of the long table. If there would be a head to the head, it would be that chair. So if that's the one that Dearney Hall gets in, you can very easily crouch. And Hemelig, your albino white raven, will perch atop one of the adornments of the high back and just...
Caris, seeing the other 2 sit down, she draws up to her full height, and you can see that she's almost kind of like posturing a little bit. You see how like the candlelight glistens across her bald head and the golden scales, and she kind of like struts in and plops herself down elegantly between Garnet and the vampire. And as I do so, I would like to maybe make some sort of Arcana check to see if I know the state that Garnet is in, like if she is aware of what is around her or if she is still in a sort of thrall.
Absolutely. Go right ahead and roll an Arcana check. I would even take a perception check here, as you are looking for certain physical tells as well that you would be aware of.
I would prefer Arcana because, quite frankly, I'm better than that. Also, Caris, and I am she, her. Yes, hello.
Absolutely. With a 15, you are able to discern that Garnet seems to be enthralled.
Would I maybe know how to break her out of that? Like, is it a little pinch? Is it a full, like, knockout? I would rather not do that. I'm very weak.
At this point, you would think that this is probably something that has to do with an ensorcelled type of situation. That there's definitely magic at play here. So, usually the removal of said magic, or certain charmed spells have ways of breaking themselves free should certain distinctions or things be met. Someone gets hurt, someone's friend gets hurt, something kind of casts them out of their false reverie. You can continue to think on that as we get around the table, because we will be stopping at Garnet shortly.
I think at this point, Gorbrin's probably the last to sit down. So he's just taking stock of the room. But seeing his compatriots move around, Gorbrin is a very large human man with long, dark hair, green eyes, and a very large mustache that comes out to the sides with a goatee and a beard. Wearing ornate and scarred plate armor in reds and silvers and golds. And reflexively, he relaxes his hand away from his sword and takes a bow towards their new host. And he says quietly, "We were not expecting a feast like this. I am grateful for your hospitality." And as he brings himself up, and there's gonna be a subtle sheen as he stands back up. He's gonna cast Divine Sense to see if there's any more vampires nearby.
Okay, a couple things happen when you do this. One, you don't sense any additional undead in the area. But when you're kind of doing all of this, Gorbrin, the person that had their goblet spilled, your host leans forward, and with just a reach very quickly and a snag of her right hand, she grabs the person around the collar and flings them out of the chair. And before you have a chance to sit, one long leg goes beneath the table, and you see the chair that would formerly been occupied push out as she gestures to the chair immediately to her right.
Gotcha. And so definitely getting an undead vibe from her.
Yeah, she's pinging at about a 12 on a 1 to 10 scale.
Okay. He's going to nod, take the chair. He's going to quietly sit down as much as he can in plate armor. It's like dum 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 dum.
And as you all sit, she sits up a bit, slings one of her legs, the one that had been used to push the chair out for Gorbrin. It now flings and drapes over the right arm of her chair. And as she leans over, she reaches out with her left hand and begins to play across the back of the hand of Garnet as she sits there just tracing symbols, or maybe just tracing veins or lines. Garnet, I'd like you, who are incapable of doing anything but appreciating your host at this moment, I would like you to roll a charisma saving throw for me, please.
All right. That's a 15.
Your host is something else.
Yeah, she
And
really is.
You found a friend, Garnet, and you count yourself lucky for having found this friend. And as she plays and her cold fingers dance across the back of your right hand, what may have been a disconcerting touch perhaps seems to pack a tenderness to it, an emotional quality that, Garnet, you didn't know you needed. But as you're sitting there and as she's playing with your hand, you see Gorbrin sit down across from you, and her eyes go from yours to his and back, and finally take in Karis and Ellie, and at the other end of the table they linger long on Dear Nahal. So, she kicks her legs and puts them beneath her. What should we talk about?
Well, the usual wouldn't seem very fitting tonight, don't you think?
What about the weather?
Down here,
Yeah,
air's a bit
I mean,
dry.
that's a good topic for any small talk, I think.
Perhaps introductions are in order.
Oh yes, this is a paladin. This is a cleric. We had.
She interrupts. I know all of you. Dear Nahal, Gorbrin the paladin. She points. Karis. But you, she points at Ellie. You I do not know. Because
Probably for the
she,
best.
and she points to Garnet, she doesn't know you either.
I'm new.
Not new to the Undermountain. You are a drow, are you not?
I am. You're very perceptive.
Sarcasm will only get you so far here, my dear.
It'll probably get me further than you think.
It's gotten her this far. It can't be that bad. We could have just killed her, but now she's here with us at your lovely table. And I'm sure that if we all want to just skip to the good parts, we would love to know how you ran into Garnet. She just disappeared behind a wall. It left us with quite a scare.
It was scary. Don't worry, I found her. She's fine. Aren't you, Garnet?
Can I talk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When she says you can.
Yes, I'm fine.
See?
Are you planning to keep her, or would you mind if we took her from you again? It'll just be a short trip, I promise.
Yes, Hallister expects us down below.
Oh, yes.
So many
yes.
things to do.
Let's get to the fun part then, shall we? How do you intend to get to Hallister?
Gorbrin's gonna look to Dearna, confused by this, because is this the first time he's heard that name? Would he know about anything about Hallister?
Only Ellie and Dearna were the ones that had the vision last episode. So with the mention of Hallister, Gorbrin, you would know from above. Lariel Silverhand, they are very aware of Hallister's presence. But He's a benign, not a benign, but kind of a peripheral problem for the surface world.
Forgive us. But it seems that you have us at a disadvantage, madam. And he's gonna bring up his hand, kind of prompting.
I had names, but I prefer something theatrical. I am the lass of lyrics.
Does Dearnay Hall know this person?
Roll a history check.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I was just like, have I run into this person before, or
Bard friends, maybe.
Karis, you can roll one with advantage.
Can I as well, just being from the Undermountain and everything? Would this be someone that I would know?
You can roll it, but this is going to be more difficult because you're only going to have known her in her current state.
That's fine. Yeah.
20.
History? It's not going to be good, friendos.
No, it's fine. I only have a +2. You'll be fine.
Oh, I mean for me. Yeah, not good.
Okay, so even with a 17, Karis, there's something about the name, the Lass of Lyrics, that it's almost pompous in its delivery, and it's something that kind of grates on any good bards when they hear a name sort of like this one, but you can't, other than maybe a mild form of irritation, you can't glean anything more from it. Dearna Hall, you, however, do remember the Lass of Lyrics. There was once, maybe 85, 90 years ago, a renowned bard who not only was a champion to the current or then open Lord of Waterdeep, but was renowned for the goodness that they delivered both in song and deed across the Sword Coast.
Pays to be old sometimes.
To be fair, Last of Lyrics, I don't really know what, that's a very long name. If none of us have heard of, if all of us haven't heard of you, then how renowned are you now?
I've heard of her.
That's just one of us, though. Shouldn't someone...
you live underground.
Fair, but also I know things.
I'm just saying, it's not like she's local to your area.
Don't you live down here?
Not all the time.
Oh, Gobrin, do you really not know of the Lass of Lyrics?
I do not recall a name. I am a, considering how much time I've spent here, I'm mostly recent.
I'm sure you'd recognize one of her songs if she sang you one of her older ones.
Oh, is she like an oldie but a goodies kind of bard?
Depends on how old you typically live.
She's smiling at all of this, revealing, again, the pointedness of her teeth. Garnet, or I should say Lauren, would Garnet like, or does the character prefer grapes to strawberries to cherries?
Gosh, they're all very summer, aren't they? Let's say cherries.
And what would be the least favorite of the ones I mentioned, of grapes, strawberries, and cherries?
Grapes.
The Lass of Lyrics picks up a grape and brings it over and places it against your lips. Eat.
I guess I gotta eat, right?
You can roll me a charisma saving throw right now.
Okay.
Wait
Oh,
one
no.
moment. Wait 1 second. So
If you
At
pop
this
an
point,
aura,
like-
we've got some problems.
no,
Okay.
he's going to okay, so it needs okay, so knowing Garnet rather well, probably knows that she hates grapes. And probably figuring out at this point that there's a thrall thing going on. He's just gonna look down at his food and he's gonna do a little prayer, but in reality he's gonna cast Bless on Garnet, Kika, Dirna, as well as Karis. So you get a D4.
Oh, it's not going to help, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a 5. A whole 5.
Oh,
I guess.
Yeah,
I guess I'm eating grapes.
Mm-hmm. And as she kind of feeds the grape to you, thanks, Staffin. As she feeds the grape to you, a bit of the juice from the grape comes across and down your cheek as you're incapable of wiping it off yourself. So she reaches over and takes it with her forefinger and brings it up and smells the juice but does not take it as she just looks at it. Now, I have need of you.
What sort of need? And would it bring us Garnet back?
Of course. And your missing Asimar friend. At
Was
this
that
point,
your
you-
doing, or was that just a dungeon?
Oh, I don't like his kind. It's a passive spell. I just didn't want him around here.
That's awfully convenient, isn't it?
It certainly
When-
helps.
when she says, "Will this bring Garnet back?" and she says yes, do I trust that she's telling the truth?
Absolutely. But if you want to see if your feelings are correct, you can roll an insight check.
Could I also do that?
15.
Because that will influence what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can ask for a roll at any time you'd like.
Don't-
Sorry, I just got really excited.
Cars, she seems to be telling the truth. However, with a natural 20, there is a white noise, almost a static to everything she's saying. And I always explain it like this. If you are a professional liar, as some rogues and some bards happen to be, you know how to talk to a fellow professional liar, bard, or rogue, where everything you're saying sounds right, but it's too perfect as it comes out, and this is what you detect. She's saying everything the right way, but
Okay, so I would like to kind of reposition myself and like throw my arm, not throw, but like kind of snake my arm around Garnet's shoulder. And I would like to turn her face to mine. And as I wipe her lip, I would like to cast Dispel Magic.
are you casting it as you touch, like caress her lip and...
Yes. I want to break whatever bond is between her and the lass.
How do you cast Dispel Magic? And I will tell you what happens as you finish.
I look into Garnet's eyes and searching for that little spark of curiosity that I know she has. She always has it. and I turn and whisper into her ear. This isn't you. Come back to us.
As you cast your spell, you feel for a moment the effects as it sort of washes over Garnet, and you feel them repelled. You feel whatever your magic did fails. But a beat later, as your magic still lingers in the air of Undermountain, you can see in the eyes of Garnet that you're staring into, the charm fades, and you see a smile on the face of the lass of Lyrics. There's your friend.
What?
Julie?
Is it me? Am I good? Do I have control of myself now?
You do?
She's gonna turn her head and spit out the grape.
There she is.
That wasn't very nice.
I had to keep you safe. You were wandering around this dungeon. It's a dangerous place.
Wandering. I was exploring, first of all. Second of all, you can just ask nicely.
I did, and you responded nicely.
You and I both know that was not very nice.
You're well fed, but I am a being of my word. Your friend returned safe and sound, and now you must do something for me. All of you, and her eyes linger on Deer Nahal and the Drow.
I'd like to point out once more that I was just invited to this group. I have no ties with them.
Yeah, hi. I'm Garnet.
Ellie.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. And she looks back at the vampire. Once more, not a member.
And yet a
Madam.
member is how I see you. So if you would like to separate from service, please let me know, and I will have 2 negotiations. One with the group, and one with you.
Madam. And Corbin's gonna...
The lass of Lyrics does not look at you when you say that.
Just tell us what you want.
See? That is how you negotiate. I wish you to go down 1 level in this place that Hallister's created. You see, he had some apprentices that he brought in to help him with his grand ideas. He is messing with forces he doesn't understand. I need to secure this area of the dungeon. Down below you will find one of his twisted apprentices, cast aside from humanoid form by greed and power. There with 2 other rats. They carry a stone key. That stone key will allow me access to not only this floor, the one below, but ones closer to Hallister, for you see, I would have words with the Mad Mage as well.
Corbin's just gonna let out a long chuckle.
And we do this, and you will grant us free passage through all areas that you have marked as your domain.
Oh, I will do you one better, dear Nahal. I will help you. And she turns and winks at Karis.
I mean,
But why?
Is this like and I think Ellie keeps her voice a little low and she leans toward Deer Hall. It's like an enemy of our enemy as our friend kind of thing.
Dearne uses Awakened Mind to respond and says, the best way to deal with an evil chaotic force is to point it in the direction of another one and stand back.
Yeah, Ellie
See?
doesn't respond. She just shrugs.
I used Awakened Mind to do this, so it's telepathic.
The Lass of Lyric sits back and just indicates Deerna Hall, just as if that was a proclamation needed to have been uttered at the beginning of negotiation. And again, the long legs with the heels come up and smash upon the top of the table. Now we are getting somewhere.
Orbrin's just gonna shake his head and keep chuckling to himself.
Wait, so we get you this key and you help us go further down that? Why are we going further? I missed something.
Further down is where Halaster is, and presumably the group that we are hunting is. So,
Yes,
it's all in the same direction. Everything is down, isn't it?
And you swear if we do this that you will not charm us or make any moves against us that would lead to us being harmed.
Why would I?
That's not an answer.
Yeah, you gotta look.
Yes or no?
You know where I'm from. I'm not gonna take any of this material plane handshake bullshit.
She leans over to Garnet, again, kind of draping one of the legs over the armrest. Oh yes, my dear, I know full well where you're from.
So the sooner you answer, the sooner we can wrap up negotiations.
She drops her legs to the floor, stays seated, but sits very straight and raises her hand up. I swear.
I need to see your other hand as well.
I swear again.
And I will need a fingernail.
Ooh, that's a new one.
I like your style.
Oh, my dear, giving a fingernail to a witch. I was not born yesterday.
Forgive me, everyone. I just find this whole exchange incredibly amusing.
Well, that's because you take deals with anybody for anything. You're terrible at it.
No, it's not that. And forgive me for my bluntness and rudeness, madam, but you gave up the only bargaining chip you had in this deal. We have no obligation to help you in any way.
We don't really have much reason not to, though.
Well, I certainly have a reason. As much as she will give us theatrics, and I say theatrics because while I may not know her, I do know that Undermountain is a very large place. And I know this is only probably the topmost rung. Am I right?
She, for the first time, leaves the chair and swings over to sit down on the table, knocking plates and the remaining goblets and silverware aside. As she crosses her legs, almost like 16 candles, and faces Gorbrin, maybe a foot or two from his own face. I'm sorry, dear knight. Don't you wish to go down?
Oh, I think we can. And we will.
Awakened Mind to teleport into his mind, that was a sex joke.
And the thing is, we aren't exactly neophytes in this department.
You should seduce her.
Madam. And Forgive me, I do not know your reputation that well, but if I can infer some things, maybe we can come to a better understanding of the situation here. You say that you're a bard of some renown.
I believe in you. You can seduce her. Do it.
About 90 years ago, is that correct?
80.
80, forgive me.
Are we speaking about our ages now?
No, I'm simply pointing out that you gave away the only bargaining chip you had, so you're obviously not that smart. You are lurking around the first level.
May I stop you, Sir Knight? You said my only bargaining chip. Do you think so lowly of your Asimar friend?
I think anyone who's still skulking about the dredges of the top of the Undermountain and still hasn't made their way down may have some power. But I think that you're a very small fish in a very big pond.
Or
Who's trying to bite off more than she can chew.
I like a good pun from a knight. But let me pose this different set of circumstances. Perhaps I am incapable of going to a lower level. And believe me, as your witch will tell you, go down I shall. But I need your help, as your Asimar friend needs yours. So I simply say, good night, and she begins to reach out toward your face.
As she's doing that, can I make an insight check to see if anything I said hit the mark?
Yes, for that particular thing, go right ahead.
18.
You're right. She's pissed she's here.
He's going to, as she's bringing up her hand, he's going to just, not even roughly, just bat her hand away with the back of his gauntlet. It's like, I'm sorry, dear. I tire of having conversations with rats.
You do backhand her hand away, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With my gauntlet. So no flesh touching.
Okay. She pulls back a bit. It has been so long since I touched a paladin. We'll see. We'll put a pin in it, as they say. And she
He's kind of in love with somebody else.
She kicks her legs up and spins around until now she is like crisscross applesauce and facing Garnet. Oh, my dear, I don't care.
I mean, he might.
Oh,
I still don't think
right,
she would
free
care
will.
much.
Well,
Something, consenting adults. Let's continue the negotiations.
I thought we had.
Oh,
The
good point.
legs-
Let's go.
the legs kick up and she continues to sit and faces Deerna Hall. At the end of this room, you will find a stairwell leading down. I cannot take this stairwell. If you go down, you will find these misshapen creatures of Hallisters. One of them is a Nothic. They have a friend or two who are were-rats.
Ugh.
Exactly. I would tear them asunder if I could, but alas, I cannot.
Weren't invited in, were you?
Something like that. And she gestures back to the doorway. And as she does so, blood red fairy fire illuminates the entrance to the lower level. Right through the door.
Are different engines we can use?
Unfortunately, I do not.
Yeah. Tierna just like gets up in a huff and starts shuffling towards the doorway and then stops and looks back to the rest of the party.
Yeah, Ellie stood up and is following Dirna. Just to be fair, this doesn't seem that big of a deal.
Karis stands up and she offers Garnet her hand. We might as well do it, because if we are almost on the same side, it's at least some sort of boon for both of us. And who knows? I would bet by the time that all of our duties are done, one of us is going to kill the other, so why not play it out to see who wins?
Ellie looks at Gorbrin and just says, and we'll probably need your help, shiny boy, so come on.
Yeah, come on, boss. We gotta find Kyogen.
Just give me a moment with our hostess.
Do I have to tell the Silver Hand that you're cheating on her?
There's a small tinge of red in his face. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Consenting adults.
But I'll meet you downstairs.
When Dirna Hall says that, the last snaps and points at Dirna Hall. Consenting adults.
Okay, bye. That's weird. And Garnet's just gonna go through the door and down the stairs because she doesn't want to see Gorbrin do anything with anyone.
Deanna's gonna go, but then like after she's out, she's going to start looking through Hemmelig's eyes to watch.
Yeah, I'm ear pressed up against the door, like, what is happening? I don't trust this, but I'm so intrigued.
Probably
Ellie's
gonna
just-
telepathically tell Hemmelig to just pick at the food on the table to look normal.
Ellie's walking down behind Garnet.
I'm trying to figure out if Gorbrin would suspect the bird or not.
Why would you
Because it's-
suspect the bird?
At this point, Hemmelig is just as attentions are shifted for a bit, Dirna. You see Hemmelig has been inching towards one of the other thralls at the table, and slowly the white beak has been opening towards one of the eyes. Just
No.
and as soon as you look,
It's rude to eat other people's eyes without permission. You have to ask the lady if you can have one.
in your mind, you hear Hemmelig respond, "Right, consenting adults."
Madam, thank you for the meal. Me and my comrades will take your offer into consideration. But I must point something out to you. You have done a very good job with your presentation, but I must admit there is one mistake that you made that I must point out. He's going to walk over to her.
She gestures for her chair at the front of the head of the table. She's still sitting on the table itself. Please sit.
I do not need to sit for this, but... And he's going to turn to her, and Gorbin has been very smiley and very nice and very warm for the most part. But when he turns to look at her, that's all gone. There is a stillness in his face. There's a very large amount of almost not rage, but distaste. And there's something in his eyes that speaks to something else. And in a
Roll me-
whisper, he's... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, roll me an insight check. Dearna Hall, roll me an insight check because you're looking through Hemalig's eyes. And please go right ahead, my friend.
23.
You see lust in her eyes as your demeanor changes.
Nat 20.
Vampires who are creatures of emotion, charisma, they are dictated by a lot of times the baser elements of their creation. She is barely containing herself as this paladin seems to be rough.
Oh, hold on. Oh. I don't do that in character, but he's going to whisper to her in a malevolency that I don't really expect of him. The one mistake you made was touching my friend. Watch your step from now on. And he'll walk towards the steps.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Why? God damn it. 18.
Moving with a speed that is almost imperceptible, the lass of Lyrics appears in front of you. She's not touching. She doesn't seem to be making any type of aggressive move, but she moves directly in front, and with the flourish and a bow born of the boards of the stage, she dips low, her eyes remaining locked on yours, Gorbrin, and she says, "I was keeping her safe, but I apologize, fair knight."
I want an insight check. I want to see if that's complete bullshit.
Sure. As you're doing so,
And I want to use... Oh, no. Never mind. 22.
it's 100% accurate. Let me make it up to you. You are... And she's getting closer. You're at a disadvantage down here. Your human eyes cannot see. But... And she pulls a hand from the small of her back, and in her hand rests a pair of goggles. She begins to spin them on her finger. "I can help you."
I know what this is. I know it's a donation. So Gorbrin's going to silently extend his hand for the goggles.
I ask just one small favor.
Mhm.
And her hand begins to reach towards your cheek again.
Nope. He moves his hand away again, moving her hand to the side.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm gonna use my advantage on this.
Sure. You feel for a moment 4 cold fingertips as they lightly trace the cheek above beard and mustache. And for just a moment, almost playfully, the edge and tip of your mustache is twirled between thumb and forefinger. And the goggles...
I would like to crush her hand.
It's gone before you can... And the goggles are dropped into your open hand. But she's still in front of you if you wish to attack.
He looks at the goggles, looks at her, and with the same, like, still face, he's going to take the goggles. He's going to crush them in his gauntlets. And he's going to drop them to the floor. He's going to walk down the stairs, not saying anything.
Roll a perception check, Deerna Hall. With a 10 being the only thing needed on this DC, Hemelig, as I'm assuming would be following at this point, the last thing that Hemelig sees as the goggles are crushed and Gorbrin heel turns down the stairs, you see the last of Lyrics shiver.
Can Hemelig snatch up the crushed goggles and run away with them?
Yes. He grabs an intact lens. One lens was just popped out of the housing. So Hemelig grabs a very kind of almost like an ambery lens and provides it to you at the bottom of the stairs. As you all get to the bottom of the stairs, I would like you all to roll perception checks for me. We're going to say that you're all going to arrive at roughly the same time, as this was only about 90 seconds real time that passed.
Perception? That's a 26.
26. Well, with a 26, we'll go from high to low. The thing that you notice the most, Garnet, when you get down here is the smell. It smells like a barnyard. It smells like an agricultural slaughterhouse without the twinge of blood to it. There is that smell of unwashed, of fecal matter, of urine. It's unsure whether it's bestial or humanoid in origin. It doesn't matter. It's disgusting. And as this smell assaults the senses, and it's not merely the smell of just trash or refuse. It is the smell of a spoiled soul, as even this type of uncleanliness, this sty type of nature seems to be twinged with something even more rotten and more twisted. And as soon as you get down with a 26, you hear a chittering coming from just 20 feet from the bottom of the stairs. And as you all kind of get out and look around, there is a low level of light, almost like you would see in a theater, emanating from grates along the hallway here. There's trash from above, containers and boxes, as if somehow elements of Waterdeep have made it this far down. But with a 26, you see the blink of a large eye. And I'd like everyone to roll some initiative.
These initiative rolls are...
I rolled a 21. Sorry, I can't see roll 20, so I don't know.
Let's just say, good on you. Okay, so
May not have gone great for the rest of us.
Also, how many? I know there have been some donations. How many advantages do we have now? Did we get this?
You all received an advantage that has come in, so you all have an additional advantage. Please add those to your totals as you are keeping track of everything. And as you all roll advantages, our good friend will roll as well. And so, please tell me what your advantage rolls were, as I believe, Garnet, you're going first with a pretty hefty score of 21, followed by our were-rat friends. And let's see, where's everyone else at this moment?
I'm an 11.
Okay, so it looks like Gorbrin, and I'm going to give it to Gorbrin. And then we've got Deerna. And then we have, rounding out everything, Ellie and Karis. Alrighty.
Chilling at the bottom.
Yep. Okay, Garnet, you, as would be the case, are the first and only person to see this eye as it is beginning to move toward you. If the explanation from the last of lyrics was correct, one of Hallister's apprentices had been twisted by the magic of this place, or their own magics, into a creature known as a Nothic. This Nothic is known for its great eye and its spindly frame. I explain this because you see a great eye and a spindly frame beneath it coming out of the shadows in this pool of cess. What would you like to do?
Does it seem like it wants to hurt me?
It seems like in this eye, and with your earlier perception check, it seems batshit crazy. And that's a technical term.
Okay. And the vampire lady, so there was a whole lot of like just in through all the weird sex stuff. The vampire lady said, if we kill this Nothic and get this key, we get Kyogen back. Yes?
If you could decipher that through there, sure. Yes, that's what was said.
Okay. This is important to Garnet. She'll be like, well, okay. And I will use one of my advantages and I will attack that monster.
Let's do it.
That is, what weapon do I have? That's a 26.
That's gonna hit.
And I gotta get all my dice out. I misroll 20. That is that's 17 points of piercing damage. And I will use my offhand attack to roll just a regular non-advantagey attack. And that is that's a 15. Okay. And that's another 6 piercing damage.
Whoops. As this creature comes from the shadows, perhaps it wishes that it would have stayed there, as several deft shots pepper its misshapen frame. But as soon as it comes out, 2 other creatures that seem to have the loping frames and tufts of fur reeking of this same urine and shit smell launch themselves out of the shadows, and both of these were-rats attack. And as they do so, let's see, we are going to, let's see, a 6 does not hit, correct?
Me? No.
Okay. And a 22 Would a
That
22?
does.
Hey, Greg, considering I was walking right behind Garnet down the stairs, how close would you? Am I within 5 feet of her?
Yes, sure, absolutely. I will give you 5 feet as we
So
are
I
all.
would- Seeing that happen, I'd like to use my reaction to make that one that hits roll again with do disadvantage with my protection. I'm a protection fighter, so just pull out my shield and try to.
Absolutely. And so what we'll do is I never like to go with the roll that roll 20 automatically rolls. I will roll again. So you can get a true disadvantaged roll. And so with an 18, does an 18 still hit? And if that is the
Yes.
case, it'll be 6
yes.
piercing this time then.
6 piercing damage? Okay.
I tried,
Correct.
but I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Am I still blessed? P.S.
That would have been over by now because I believe it's
Okay.
only a minute, right? And the other one comes out as well. And seeing that the drow holds some type of sway power-wise, there will be both a bite. It's a 13 hit, Ellie,
No, it does not.
and a nat 20 for 9 piercing. That reaction's gone, isn't it?
Am I anywhere near the group? Probably not.
You're coming up and you're bringing up the rear since you were the last one down.
Okay.
You and
Never
Hemily.
mind then. I wouldn't be within 5 feet.
Not at this point. Not at the directions that, and the narrative as they came down the stairs. But
That's fine.
those are the were-rats, and we are now going to go to Gorbrin. As you do come down, you see these 2 were-rats attack both Ellie and Garnet, and you see this large, blistered and bloodshot-ridden eye above this spindly, almost goblinoid type of figure as your friends have engaged these beasts.
So, Gorbrin is going to run up and he's going to cast Wrathful Smite on his fist. He's going to run up and he's going to try to punch one of the were-rats. And the Wrathful Smite just kind of appears as he's just stalking up. And like the gauntlet begins to stream out the silver mist that turns into like silver platinum just fire around his hand. It's going to make an attack
Fantastic.
roll. And I think because he's not proficient in unarmed strikes, that he's just going to do 1d20 plus 4. But he's also, I'm going to use my advantage on this. Because why not? Does a 12 hit?
And you were going after...
One of the were-rats.
You will be happy to know, my friend, that a 12 is the armor class.
Okay. If that's the case, he's also going to pump a Divine Smite into that.
I will also let everyone know that Renu contributed a advantage as well. So you should have 2 that have come in through this session.
Nice.
And there was also a contribution for something for Deerna Hall, but I will keep that to myself.
Did we
until
get
the
one
section.
last session, or did I make that up?
You did get one last
Okay,
session.
so
yep.
okay, making sure.
Let me check something. So, sorry, I'm not used to playing a paladin. Divine Smite. Spend 1 spell slot for an extra 2d8. So, all right. So this is going to be 1 plus strength. So it's going to be 5 plus 1d6 from Wrathful.
Oh, paladins and rogues when they hit.
And then 2d8 from the Smite.
Excuse me, who has all the dice? Could someone get me all the dice?
That's gonna be 10 damage, and with Wrathful Smite, It must make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of me until the spell ends.
Roger, Roger.
And has a DC 15.
And
But it
there are no
can make a
modifiers.
wisdom check to try to resolve the spell.
Oh no. So as the strike comes through for 10 total damage, this particular were-rat is frightened, and it runs off in its shit and piss covered form as it Anything else, Sir Gorbrin?
As it runs off, he's going to kind of move his hand and look to Garnet, and he's just going to say, I'm not going to lie, that made me feel better.
All right, so just as this proclamation from Gorbrin comes over your shoulder, Garnet, you turn around as the creature that you had really laid a smacking on in this first round, its large, rotting eye turns towards you, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okie dokie.
Sorry, am I making the Constitution saving throw, or?
Yeah, it's Garnet. I'm sorry. Garnet is
Oh,
making
sorry.
the Constitution saving throw. Yep.
Oh no, that's not very good. That's a 7.
Okay, so you take... Let's go ahead and roll this one out since I've got a second. You take 8 necrotic damage as you feel the wounds that had been delivered to the Nothic almost bleed across to you, and you feel this kind of this death, this rot, as the eye and the gaze casts itself over you like a sunbeam, and
Ow.
as wherever it touches just seems to wither a bit.
Ow.
But that is all that the Nothic is going to do this particular turn, as it has a plan in mind, but it is now Dearna Hall's turn.
How far away is the Nothic?
Everything's within about 20 feet.
I want to move within 10 feet of the Nothic and whip out my spike chain and attack it with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Attack
anybody, anytime someone tells me it's a spike chain, I just think of Kill Bill. I can't help it. But that's all I think of.
I'm going to use an advantage for this, just because spike chains are cool, and it's my first time using it, and it's my signature Shatterkai weapon.
Let's do it.
Advantage. Spike chain. Go. 22. To hit.
Yeah, that's going to hit. That is definitely going to hit, as you're able to fire this chain, kind of swing it, wrap it around the forearm, and redirect it past the defenses.
7. And can I make a trip with that?
Absolutely. What's the DC for that?
15.
It's strength,
Dex.
right?
Dex.
It's a dex. Okay. So with the dex. Nope. A 9 is not going to do it, as you see this thing gets ripped back, crashes to the ground as the eye lulls for a second, almost completely independent in its orientation, as the skull around it, as the creature is being just bombarded. But you have attacked. Anything else you'd like to do, Dearna?
She says, well, it's set up for you guys to finish it off. And she just sort of shuffles back a bit.
Which leads us to Ellie.
What would I be closer to, the Nothic or one of the were-rats?
You're actually
Okay.
engaged with one of the were-rats because they attacked you last time.
Okay, yeah, then that's what I'm going to hit it with my warhammer. That's a +5 to hit. Okay. An 11.
It sweeps down, and the one that's on you just manages to move out of the side. Some of your warhammer actually catching some of the stained and just soaked fur, but it doesn't reach any flesh. No purchase.
Okay, well then I'm going to use my War Priest feature and make another attack as a bonus action. With the same Warhammer. That definitely doesn't hit. I'm just... No.
As you spin around, the creature's almost ready, and it steps in, and for a moment, in a move that's has just the positional resemblance of something that the Lass of Lyrics would have done, for a moment you are face and nose to nose with this filth-ridden creature as it stares, and its half muzzle, half lip curls up, revealing broken yellow teeth.
Ellie just like moves back, doesn't really move, but like pulls back as much as she can. That's all I'm doing.
And that brings us to Karis.
So obviously were-rats are really gross creatures. Do I know if they're immune/resistant to poison?
I will give you a quick, this will cost your bonus action, but I will give you the ability to do like a history check if you'd like.
Yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. 24.
Yeah, you don't believe so. They're just gross.
Excellent. So in that case, I would like to creep up behind Ellie and like peek over her shoulder and say that's really gross and spit poison at it using poison spray, in which case I would like a con save for the were-rat so it doesn't bite off this pretty drow's face.
17.
Damn! It makes it. Ooh.
It actually, as you spit it out, it actually drinks a little of it in.
No.
Anything else you'd like to do?
No, my bonus action is gone, so that's my turn, and I just make sure I'm not really in the range of anything.
Okay. As we go back up to the top of the round, Garnet, as provided to you by Deer Nahal, the Nothic is on its back. Any melee attack against this creature will be done so with advantage.
Excellent. That is 22.
Just hits, yes.
15 on the first hit. And then the second sword, because she fights with 2 short swords. Second sword is coming out. That is a 24. For 5 points of damage.
With your second strike, you drive your short sword and end the creature's life. What misshapen, misspent life it has been. And as the light leaves its large, broken, and bloodshot eye, it lolls back, and as it exposes its neck, you can see hanging from a worn leather strap a stone key.
I will take it.
I will give it to you since it's dead and can't fight back.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to go to the were-rat's turn. We've got one were-rat that is running away at the end of his turn. I will give him a chance to not do that anymore. But we have Ellie. Ooh. That 24 looks good.
As if
but
you
it did-
nat 20 on me again, Greg.
No, I did not. And so we will go to, does a 17 hit?
It just hits.
3 piercing for me, please. And we
Wait,
have...
wait. Actually,
Uh-oh. Paladin.
you're not the only one with the shield. As I want to pose disadvantage with my reaction and bring my shield down.
Fine. I'll allow it, since it's the rules. Okay,
Goddamn
17
rules.
17
Yeah.
for 6 piercing.
How
God,
much?
what? The same thing again?
Well,
And
just
it's
3 more
worse.
damage.
It's worse. Thanks.
Well, you know what? I was trying to help. If you don't want my shield, you can just leave at the end of this. Ka!
Excellent. So for 6 piercing, the creature attacks, and then we have another wisdom save. And it was 15, I believe, was your DC for that. We do not have any type of modifier since this is a were-rat. Still running off into the shadows. As we now go to Gorbrin, you see that there is one were-rat still focused on Ellie and seems to be holding its own.
I want to come up behind it. I want to grapple it. I want to bring my arms around him and just push it to the floor. I don't know. I want to grapple it.
So you can go athletics, and I will do an opposed strength.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to use one of my advantages.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got
didn't
it
need it.
regardless.
21.
As you reach up and grab around, and Ellie, you see the creature get picked up as arms are pinned beside as it's
Ellie
being
just-
pulled back.
Little late, but thanks. I appreciate it.
And since that counts my attack, I also have an extra attack. So as he has him grappled, Gorbrin is going to try to punch the were-rat in the side of the face. Do I gain advantage because it is grappled, or no?
I usually no, because you're using your hands to grapple. So you can make an attack. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just make it sure.
But what if you headbutted?
I like the sound. I like where this is going, Dearna. A headbutt is not a hand.
I mean, I can headbutt it. That'll work, and just just bear hug it and be like, "Hello."
Absolutely. Go ahead. I will allow advantage with that because it's in your arms.
In the arms of the paladin, may you get your shit kicked in.
22.
So that's just going to be 5 damage.
Okay, so as the head drops in, you feel it hit the were-rat, and where you're pretty sure this would have probably snapped some type of, cracked or caused a concussion, the creature doesn't seem to be too terribly worried about the damage you've just caused it. In fact, it doesn't seem to be affected at all. But now we will go to the Nothic's dead. Dearna, what would you like to do as you see the paladin has grabbed hold of a creature with lycanthropy?
Yeah, I'm gonna use Toll the Dead on that.
Okay. Wisdom?
Yep, wisdom save. Is it
That's a
damage?
natty-
It's a
That
nat
is a
one?
nat. It is damage. That is a nat 1. So what I like to do is, with a nat 1, you may double your damage on a failed saving throw. So go right ahead.
Okay. Wow. So that's 32
32?
damage.
So let's narratively say this. What is, first off, Kika, what is Dearna Hall's Toll the Dead? What's it like for Dearna, and what's it like for the recipient?
She sort of drops her spiked chain and pulls 2 coppers out of her sleeve and sort of rubs them together really hard in the direction of the were-rat while speaking some eldritch words. And the were-rat would hear like strange, distant whispers just surrounding it, and they get louder and louder and louder until it just becomes ear-splitting.
So, as you are literally embraced with this creature, Gorbrin, you can feel it shaking in terror. And as your head cracked into this creature and had no effect, the bell that is ringing now, tolling the death of this creature, you can hear it. You can hear this subtle, almost as if it's carried from a great distance, these gong 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 gong, and it sounds almost pleasant to Gorbrin, like something that a cathedral would sound, or some heraldry that would announce Lariel Silverhand in some meeting of state. But you can tell that this creature is not hearing the same thing, or not perceiving it the same way that you do. And as it sits, it turns, and for a moment, its wild, disease-ridden eyes lock with yours, and you see it pleading. And the eyes grow wide, and you see relief as it goes limp in your arms.
Is it dead?
Oh, it's real dead.
Well, good job, everyone. That was very smooth. Now the real question is, are we really giving this key to the lass?
No, I don't think we should. I think Kyogen can probably find his way back, or we can find him. I mean, I'm not too worried about him. I mean, he's here.
Kind of worried.
I would prefer to have Kyogen around.
I mean, I would prefer to have him around too. I just think that, he'll find his way back.
As much as it pains me, Tierna at least made a deal with the creature.
Yeah, but deals don't mean anything on this plane.
How big is the key?
I have an idea.
It's smaller. It's roughly the size of a humanoid index finger, so just a few inches.
Can I make a tracing of it and copy it a bit?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me a performance check if you're going for super detail.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
while
going
Tierna's doing that,
I can use advantage.
Ellie just looks at the key and is like, I have an idea. So technically, she didn't really specify who has to deliver the key or anything, I can take it up to her and you can all just go, continue on, find your friend.
Seduce her, won't you? That's a brilliant idea.
I would probably do a better job at it than Shiny One over here.
She likes it rough. Good luck. Tierna says as she finishes copying the key. She just obviously doesn't care.
Like a father drawing his kid away from an R-rated film. He's gonna put a hand over Garnet, kind of sidestep her away from this conversation of seducing vampires.
It's okay.
And he's gonna look at her. So say, "Are you all right?"
Oh, yeah. I didn't like her. She didn't ask permission before she cast all her spells on me and then touched me in weird ways. I didn't like that. But we don't ever have to see her again, so it's fine.
He's gonna take off a gauntlet, kind of looking around a little bit, and he's gonna say, may I?
Oh yeah.
And he's gonna press the back of his hand against her forehead, checking for temperature, any lingering effects.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the magic where it stops hurting any. She's like
I,
pretty beat up.
I am a little bit tapped out, as it were.
Oh. Wow, stuff got real bad while I was in the walls.
You could say that.
We were attacked by an intellect devourer and 2 bugbears.
Oh.
I killed them. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you look kind of Matt Priesty. Do you have any healing?
Yeah, sure.
I mean-
Ellie,
I mean, I could pay you maybe. I don't know.
don't worry about it. As this one, and she points to Karis, has been pointing out a lot, I sort of owe this group. So yeah, she walks over to Garnet and is going to cast Cure Wounds.
Oh.
Ooh. 15 plus 3. So
Oh. 18. Wow. Nice.
Yeah, don't. Anyway, my idea is still on the table. I mean,
I think your idea sounds good. I mean, I guess if we're gonna go through with the whole giving her a key thing.
With my Eldritch Sight, do I see any magic auras on this key?
Absolutely.
Okay, what kind?
It looks like a base enchantment. You're not sure exactly what type of school of magic this would be from, but if you had to make a guess, it looks as if it's inherently a barrier. It drops a barrier at some point. By the arcane nature of it, probably a portal of some kind. Ellie traveled through one to get where she is. They seem to be littered through Undermountain.
Okay, with my back to the party, I'd like to use prestidigitation to make a copy of that key.
Out of... Because prestidigitation's not going to create material. It will clean material, or it will...
You create a non-magical trinket or illusionary image that can fit in your hand.
Non-magical.
Yeah, non-magical.
Yeah. So I would allow you to create a replica of it that's non-magical.
Yes, that's what I'm going for.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to create something that's... Roll an Arcana check for me to see how close it gets with this, because you're eyeballing it as you do it.
Yeah.
And you had an earlier performance roll that was good, so I'll take that into consideration as well.
Okay. Oops, I accidentally rolled with advantage when I didn't mean to. 17.
Okay, yeah, it looks pretty good. And considering no one else has seen the key yet,
I've seen it. I have it, but that's okay. I'm all for this. This is great.
okay. Yeah, I mean, you pulled it off, and the two of you are kind of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to sort of lean in close to Ellie, switch the key, or not Ellie, Garnet, switch the keys, and then like gesture my head in Ellie's direction, like while facing away from Ellie this whole time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, sounds good to me.
I mean, I personally don't see the issue with giving her the key, because that means she could make her way down there and try to harass Hallister, and that would probably divert some attention from us. Plus, I would like to see what she would do.
What does Hallister even have to do with what we're doing, though?
I don't know.
Like, she goes ahead of us while we're looking for your group, clears the way, and then we follow her later if there's anything we need to do down there.
When you two disappeared for a moment, what happened? You seem to know about this Hallister, but you're not saying why or how.
Oh, telepathically.
That doesn't...
No, I'm gonna say telepathically to you. Had a vision of the mage guy that runs this place, and he wanted me to help him kick you out, but I negotiated with him successfully to let us stay and do our business. He seems to not like you. Any idea why? Oh wait, that's right. You can't respond.
I can respond out loud.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm very hurt that this is a
Is
conversation
Hallister-
without the rest of us.
Is
Garnet, do you know what's
Hallister-
going on?
No. Look, I just go where I get paid to go to.
You get paid? Where's my money?
You will receive payment once the job of finding the group that we were sent here in the first place to find is done.
Fine, let's go.
So, my friends, what is the idea here? Ellie is being sent back up to the Lass of Lyrics with a fake key.
Yes, I think that is the plan.
Okay.
Are we lurking to see if Kyogen will show up here, or are we going off of faith that he will just be sent along after? Because I don't quite trust that part of it.
Yeah. Gorbrin doesn't trust this vampire lady at all, so he's gonna go up there with
Oh, you're going with?
Ellie.
You want to see her?
No,
again?
I really think we should just leave.
Shouldn't I get? I mean, I'm the one offering this up. I feel like I should have some say in this. And she's just staring at Gorbrin.
Do you not want to go with him?
I mean, I like to just go by myself. It might work easier negotiations. She seems to like negotiations. I could just get this taken care of, and you.
To
can
be
all
fair,
go your way.
it's not much of a negotiation. We are fulfilling our part of the bargain. We're giving her a key.
I think she wants to do, consenting adult stuff with her.
No, I mean, I'm just going to give her the key and see if I can leave.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I'm
I
not
think
the one with a lost friend. You are.
I'll let you go if you give me some of your hair.
You have to stop doing that. That's really weird.
No, it's not. It's normal.
Don't give her hair. She's gonna use it for some sort of spell. It's probably.
You're from the Feywild. You should know how normal it is.
She's like,
I know
if
it's normal to not do it. It's bad.
Who
If
raised
I-
you?
If I give you
I
my
mean,
hair,
I gave her some material plane pointers, if that's what you're saying.
No. I mean, generally, you don't give witches stuff to track you.
no, I mean, if I give you my hair, does this mean like you'll keep in contact or something?
Yes, I'll be able to contact you. If you are ensorcelled in any way, I could have some advantage in breaking that. So it's really just helpful for both of us.
All right.
You're a very odd person, dear Nahal.
I don't need to explain
sort of
myself to you.
I like it. She's just gonna chop off a little bit of her hair and hand it to Fiona.
Thank you. Have fun speaking to the vampire.
Gorbin's just gonna grumble, take his pipe, and light a match.
All right.
Start
Nice to
puffing
meet.
on it.
To be fair, she's like probably the most normal one of all of you. And then
I mean,
she's
that's
got
fair.
hairs.
It's nice to meet you, Ellie.
Have fun
So-
seducing the vampire.
Consenting adults.
Stay safe. See you again. Maybe.
So, as Ellie takes to the stairs, returning to the first level, we will leave the group behind for now as Ellie the Drow climbs up and quickly returns to the room with the decadence, the long table, and the Lass of Lyrics. But since just even a few moments ago, a new contestant has arrived here, a new guest for the Lass of Lyrics, and currently a large Aasimar Goliath barbarian is seated at one end of the table, staring straight ahead as the Lass of Lyrics turns at your approach. Ah, what do you have for me?
Ellie just holds up the key. I was told to give this to you.
That's a fake.
I wasn't told that.
Katie, at this point, I'd like you to take a look at Roll20, and you are going to see... Oh, I can't just show it to... I will make it just visible to you.
Okay. Can I say preemptively how much I don't like this?
Okay, did it pop up for you? The,
yeah, it did.
Okay. Read both of those two choices, and she walks up and says, the magic in this place is unforgiving. And you should know that you're in quite a bit of danger brought on by your friends. But I will ask you this, my wrath is not indiscriminate, it's not... I am not a force of nature. You can direct me. And so I will ask you this, who should I direct the magics of this place against?
Well, I would like to first point out they're not my friends. I only
They
really
certainly are not.
The witch, she was pretty interesting.
She's a problem.
I like problems. What about the paladin? Don't really like him. Really full of himself.
Really? Well,
seems that way to me.
Very well. And so, with a glance over at Kyogen, she begins to walk over and drapes her arms around the broad shoulders of the Goliath and traces her fingers along the jawline as she opens her mouth, revealing her fangs, and lowers them slowly to the Goliath's neck. And as the magics of Undermountain course through, and a curse has been leveled upon Gorbrin, I would let you know this, my friend, during our next session, you cannot gain advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throws, including those donated by chat. And as the teeth dance along the neck of our Goliath friend, that is where we will end this session of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Yay! Oh, it's a feel-good story.
I'm sorry.
This is why.
But
you
also,
play
Greg
nice
would
people.
not. Greg would not have asked me to play if he didn't know what it calls chaos.
See, Chad, this is why you should never play anyone who's remotely a nice person. Just gonna bite you in the ass.
Well, that's not really true now. All right, everybody, let's go around and talk to our friends as we spin around, get some outros, see how they felt about tonight's session, but more importantly, where they can be found at the end of 2018 and at the beginning of 2019. Let's start with Kika. Kika, how are you doing, my friend, and where can we find you?
I'm doing great. I really loved this session. Did a lot of fun role-playing. I had a great time. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kika. That's twitch.tv/KIKKA. And you should really follow me on Twitter if you're interested in seeing me play Dungeons and Dragons, because I only play on other people's channels and I'm in a lot of games. So follow me and you'll find where I am.
Fantastic, fantastic. Links are in chat, everybody. Please follow everyone that I put up, because as I mentioned, I am blessed with casts that are kind, and I am so lucky to be surrounded by kind people. They make my day brighter. I promise they will make your day brighter. And what better gift is there than that? Let's drop down to Lauren. Lauren, welcome back. And
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I hate vampires and I hate enchantment magic, so this was great.
I'm glad I could check all those boxes then.
Yeah, I'm Lauren. I am at JL_nice girl on Twitter. I have a pinned tweet with all of my streaming activities for the foreseeable future. You can find me there. I also am the co-host of a podcast called Too Many RPGs. It is a show where we talk to creators and fans of actual play, about the shows they love and why they love them. We have been taking a hiatus over the month of December, but we are set to start doing more shows in January. Our next episode will be out probably the second week of January, and we're going to talk to DC Dungeon Commander about their Mutants in the Night actual play. It's going to be very good. So definitely check that out. Too Many RPGs, wherever you get your podcasts.
Fantastic. Links are in chat, as are, I put the Twitter handle for Too Many RPGs up. Please follow all of this good stuff. Content creators are fantastic, hardworking people, and like I said, I'm blessed to have a ton of them. And let's drop over to the good night. Good night. You are so good and pure, and look where it got you. How are you doing, my friend? Where can we find you online?
I'm doing all right. Gorbrin healed somebody, tried to protect them from a were rat. Got him cursed. See how it is, Katie. See how it is. I'm just gonna have to keep this.
He brought me here. This wasn't me.
I'm just gonna have to keep this one in my back pocket and just gonna have to think about what my retaliation is gonna be in the future.
Hey,
But
you tanked the curse.
don't try to put a spin on this. Don't put
You're protecting the party from the curse. You're doing a good job being a paladin.
But I'm Kayla, Koros RPG. You can find me on twitter.com at Koros RPG as well as Twitch. I like to talk about D&D, music and stuff like that. My Twitter account is locked right now for personal stuff. But if you want to follow me there, just send me a request and I will look it over. Besides that, on Saturdays, I run my own game on the Soul Bear RPG Twitch channel, where called the Shattered Eye, where I run Kika, Deirdre, Don Lon, as well as Wandering DM and Chris Greer through a Roman and Greek inspired sword and sorcery meat grinder adventure. And right now they're in the Feywild, debating on what to do after the death of one of their friends. And on the horizon is a new character. So come check that out. It's on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fantastic. And as we all know, since you are journeying in the Feywild, that it is not normal to give someone your hair. That's just standard operating procedure in the Feywild. It is assumed that that's not supposed to happen.
It's normal to
Alrighty.
ask, though.
Yeah, it's normal to ask. It's bad to do it.
You guys are the best. You know that we got on RPGN because of the our Vola's Guide to Stereotypes. I love how you guys just come up with canon that I immediately think is perfect. Well, it's normal to ask for hair. It's not normal to give it. And okay, it's assumed. I think that's the best. Oh, you guys are awesome. So much fun. Let's go over to our resident Yuan-Ti. Lenny, how are you doing? And what'd you think of tonight's session?
Listen. I really want her to come back. I need to see him more last, but I also need her hands to be off of Kyo again because this is bad news bears. You can find me here on Thursdays, obviously. You can find me on my Twitter, BLINNEBEE. And we're coming into the new year. And I know this is the time where a lot of people are thinking about, what things do I want to play in the new year? Because there's so many options. Consider picking up a copy of the Uncaged anthology, which is going to be released on DM's Guild. There's going to be 4 volumes, each with entirely unique, brand new homebrew one-shots, of each featuring a different female creature and or monster for you to peruse, enjoy, and play. I'm going to be writing one of the one-shots, but there are so many great artists and writers that are going to be contributing, so be sure to check that out. Check in with Ashley Warren RPG for updates, and keep an eye out.
Fantastic. And as soon as everything drops, let me know, and we will make sure that we promote accordingly here on the channel and in chat. And finally, as our special guest ends with a fantastic, I didn't see it coming, I saw it coming, Curse of the Paladin. Katie, thank you so much for joining us the past 2 weeks. And it's not just me saying things or blowing smoke. You may join us anytime that you can. Absolutely loved Ellie, and her player wasn't bad either.
Thank you so much for having me, Greg. You're one of the people I don't get to play enough games with, and we literally run in the same exact circles, and we never get to play games together, and I hate it. But you can follow me on Twitter at KatieFace. You can find me right now. A lot of my things are on hiatus, holidays, but you can find me usually on Off the Table. Through the week, I play a ton of different games there. D&D, Urban Shadows, Burning Wheel, all kinds of different systems. You can find me on the Greyhawk channel on Tuesdays when we come back playing with Eric Vulgaris, Savage Tide, wonderful game. Starting in the new year, I'll be on Scraticus's channel on Thursdays running a viewer-friendly or new player-friendly viewer game. So if you want to come play 1 week with us, send a message to Scraticus. He'll get you in a game. I made 11 pre-generated characters. I never want to make another D&D character in my life. And also you can find me. I have a Patreon where I run games for my patrons. I have all kinds of great stuff. You can just find me on, and I do one-shots and other games. And I have tomorrow on my channel at 2 Central Standard Time, I'll be running another game of Scum and Villainy. That game has really been fun. It's a lot of like Cowboy Bebop, Firefly-ish kind of space shenanigans, and it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. And I think one of the next things on January the 4th over on my channel as well, we'll be doing our third volume of Bluebeard's Bride that Kiana's running. And also I don't know if she closed submissions last night or not, but if you can get in one of her games, do it, because 1, Bluebeard's Bride is an excellent system, and 2, Kiana is just excellent game runner. And Greg got to witness volume 2, so he can attest how fucked up Kiana is. So
let me just say, this group would be super, super fun in Bluebeard's Bride. I think it would be a sight to behold. So
it's a great system. That's what I want to see Greg in it. But yeah, just follow me for what I'm doing. Yell at me about D&D, and I love it.
Fantastic. And thanks again, my friend. You're right, we don't get to play enough, and this was a reminder of why we need to play more. Beautiful light, beautiful person. I thank you so much for being here and playing. This group is great. Please follow them. All the links are in chat. What I will leave you with is this. We will be back next week. I think the full cast and crew will be here to see exactly how you're going to get a Goliath away from the Lass of Lyrics. We will be going deeper into Undermountain. During this time, though, we are going to have a changeover from 2018 to 2019. Chat, you are the best. You engage the narrative, you engage us, you make the story your own and better because of it. Thank you so much for being here on the channel, or on all the various shows. We will have a special Project Athena this week where I am one-on-one with that salty ginger as she is alone against the powers of Cthulhu. We will see exactly how that goes. But we also have May Black Roses Bloom, our Dragonlance D&D 5e show on Wednesdays. It'll be back in about 2 weeks. But everyone, take care of yourselves. It's going into 2019, and kindness, kindness, kindness. That's what's going to win the day. But, like we always say here, you can't always roll nat 20s, but you can role play with friends. Until next time.